Hi, pre-K, kindergarten, and first graders. I am so happy to read to you a book today that is by an author, an illustrator, and an artist, and her name is Lois Ehlert. And this is her name right here, you might actually know some of the books that she's created. So I'm going to hold up a page of her books that she's written and or illustrated, and you can point out if you see one that you've read before that you know about. So this book is written by her, and it's all about who she is and how she writes her books and gets ideas for making art. So I hope you enjoy finding out. This is called the Scraps book. There are lots of scraps in this book. And it says, first page, don't read this book unless you love books and art, which I hope we all do. When I was little, I read all the books on the library shelf, and I thought maybe someday I could make a book. So this is Lois Ehlert when she was little, and that's what she said. I was lucky, said Lois Ehlert. I grew up with parents who made things with their hands. And this is the house that she grew up in. Mom loved to sew, and she had colorful fabric scraps, buttons, lace, ribbons, and many scissors she shared with me. Dad had a basement workshop. He gave me wood scraps and taught me how to paint, saw, and pound nails. So I had wonderful art supplies and tools close at hand. Think about whether you have art supplies where you are right now. In a small corner of our house, Dad set up a folding table for me. It was my spot, a place to work and dream. When I grew up and left home for school, my table went with me. So think about whether in your house, wherever you are, if you have a spot where you like to create art and what that spot is. After art school, I worked in an art studio by day and worked on book ideas at night. I created lots of art, though not for books right away. But I didn't worry. Everyone needs time to develop their dreams. An egg in the nest doesn't become a bird overnight. Where do book ideas come from anyway? I know I find ideas in the world around me. I've even found them in my garden or while shopping at the fruit and vegetable store. Think in your head right now if you've ever found an idea from something around you, if you were just walking around and an idea pops into your head. When a squirrel slipped into my house, a book idea walked right up to me. This is a part of Lois Ehlert's book that she's written called Nuts to You. And it says, there he goes, up the bricks, on his claws. He steals seeds and eats with his paws. Look at that silly, silly squirrel. On a trip to the aquarium, while I watched colorful fish swim by, a book idea swam right into my brain. I sketched and made notes before it floated away. Think about if you were ever on a trip and an idea came up in your head while you were on that trip. Maybe from something you visited or saw. I keep my eyes open. An idea might be close by. I agree. Once, when I visited my sister, her cat brushed my ankles and he escaped out the door. A new idea. After writing a story, I sketched the whole book, figuring out what to illustrate on each page. This is like a plan for creating a book. Back and forth, I work on the pictures and words until together they tell a story. My art technique is called collage. And you all know about collage because we started doing collages in the art room where we were cutting and pasting and putting shapes together in different ways. That's all collage. And Lois Ehlert says that she cuts out scraps like pieces of a puzzle and she assembles and glues them into place. We've done that too. She says, I am messy when I work. And these are some of her awesome collages using different materials. She also says her wastebaskets overflow. She has a lot of scraps. Scraps lie all over the studio. More scraps stick to the bottom of my shoes. But when ideas are flowing, I keep working. I often combine real objects with painted ones. I use odd tools to create texture. I splatter paint with a toothbrush or rub a crayon over my grater. Whoa, some interesting ideas there. Sometimes I photograph folk art from my collection to illustrate a story. I use what's close at hand, just as I did when I was growing up. Sometimes I go for a walk looking for good stuff. Mother Nature gives me free art supplies. Think about if you've ever been outside and have found things that look like they might be fun to make art with, or you actually use them to create with. Day after day, I work until the art looks just right to me. You might ask, why did I choose to be an artist? I think maybe it's the other way around. Art chose me. This is a picture of her. If you feel that way too, I hope you'll find a spot to work and begin. I wish you a colorful life. I hope that you enjoyed learning more about Lois Ehlert and how she creates art and writes books. And we're going to do an art activity about this story in the next video. So I hope to see you there. Bye.